She sat quietly in the garden, on an old wooden bench that had learned the shape of her body over many years. The bench rested beneath a tall tree whose leaves whispered softly whenever the breeze passed through them. Sunlight filtered down in broken patterns, resting gently on her gray hair and wrinkled hands. The garden was not large, but it was alive. Flowers bloomed without asking for attention, birds came and went as they pleased, and the earth held memories deeper than words. This was where she felt closest to herself. The air smelled of soil and blooming jasmine. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the warmth of the sun settle into her bones. At her age, warmth mattered. It eased the aches that lived quietly inside her, reminders of years spent working, caring, waiting, and surviving. She had learned that pain did not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it simply stayed. As a young woman, she never imagined she would grow old in a garden like this. Her dreams once stretched far beyond fences and flower beds. She believed life would unfold neatly, like the stories she heard as a child. Love would arrive, remain, and grow old alongside her. Hardship would be temporary. Happiness would be permanent. Life, however, had other plans. She remembered the first garden she ever loved. It belonged to her mother, a small patch of land behind their home where vegetables grew beside flowers without rules. Her mother believed beauty and usefulness could exist together. From her, she learned patience. You could not force a seed to grow faster by shouting at it. You had to wait. You had to trust. She learned that lesson well, though she did not know how often she would need it. When she married, she carried hope like a precious object, holding it carefully so it would not break. Her husband had a gentle smile and dreams of a better future. Together, they spoke of building a life filled with laughter and security. In those days, the world still felt kind. They planted plans the way gardeners plant seeds, believing time would take care of the rest. But storms came. Loss did not arrive all at once. It came in pieces. First, uncertainty, then absence, then a silence that grew heavier with each passing day. When he was gone, truly gone, she felt as though the ground beneath her had shifted. She was still standing, but nothing felt stable anymore. In the garden now, years later, she ran her fingers over a leaf, tracing its edges slowly. She had learned that grief never completely leaves. It changes shape, becomes quieter, settles into places you do not expect. Sometimes it surfaced when she least wanted it to. Other times it reminded her of how deeply she had loved, and that reminder felt like a gift. She raised her children mostly on her own. The garden became their refuge. When money was scarce and worries were plenty, she brought them outside. She taught them the names of plants, the importance of water, the value of care. She wanted them to understand that growth required effort, but also patience. Some days would bloom, others would not. Both were part of living. As they grew older, they left the garden one by one, stepping into lives of their own. She watched them go with pride and quiet fear. Letting go never became easy. She waved goodbye the same way each time, smiling until they were out of sight, then allowing the silence to return. Now she sat alone again, but loneliness no longer frightened her. Solitude had become familiar, even comforting. In the garden, she felt accompanied by memories. Every plant seemed to carry a story. Every stone remembered footsteps. A butterfly landed nearby, its wings trembling softly. She smiled. Small moments like this reminded her that life still noticed her, that she was still part of the world's rhythm, even if she moved more slowly now. She thought about survival, about how people often spoke of it as something dramatic. For her, survival had been quiet. It was waking up when she wanted to stay asleep. It was choosing kindness when anger felt justified. It was forgiving life for not turning out the way she had imagined. The sun shifted and shadows changed their shape. Time moved forward as it always did. She breathed deeply, feeling the garden hold her gently. She had lived many lives within one lifetime. A daughter, a wife, a mother, a grandmother. Each role had taken something from her, but each had given something back as well. As she sat there, surrounded by growing things, she understood that her story was not defined by loss alone. It was defined by endurance, by love that continued even after absence, by a heart that learned, again and again, how to remain open. And so she stayed there, in the garden, letting the day pass slowly, knowing that even now, life was still unfolding around her.